I'm going to give my opinions on how fighter ships rank in the new 3.14 release, and we're starting right now. Thank you so much to all the supporters that make this channel possible. What's up, citizens? This is Subliminal, and this is a Star Citizen's Guide to the Galaxy. 3.14 has really switched up the meta in a crazy way, and I thought it would be valuable for me to share my thoughts on where fighter ships rank in this new patch. This is a cut-up version of my live stream over on Twitch. It's unscripted, and I apologize if it's a little bit scattered. I will try to add some of those new timestamp chapter things if I can figure out how to get that to work. A couple of disclaimers before we get into this. While watching this, please note that towards the end, I do a slight rebalance, so if you don't agree with an opinion, I might rectify that later. Lastly, these are just my opinions and probably won't reflect yours 100%. Civil comments are welcome below. Without further ado, let's get to it. All right, so I'm going in no particular order, I guess alphabetical order, here on ships that I have emotes for. All right, so the 300i, 3 size 3 hard points. It's got some pieces of the wings that can be shot off, and it's not very nimble. It's also large. So I'm gonna put it like in a C area, right? It's not great, okay? It's not terrible. It's kind of like in the middle. Okay? All right. 600i. So very slow. Has size 3 shields now. 2 of them. That makes it damn near indestructible for most people. I mean, it's not indestructible because with this new meta, you could take down the shields, but size 3 shields now. I'm gonna have to go A. It's got 3 size 5 fixed weapons. Okay, 3 size 5 fixed weapons. Sure, it's large, it's slow, but it's also tanky AF. With the hull damage that it can take, and everything. So yeah, it can be piloted solo. If you throw people in there, it can take out a hammerhead in an ERT mission because the AI sucks currently right now in the game. So I'm not gonna do the 890 jumper, the Valkyrie, the arrow. Let's do the arrow. Let's jump right into some controversy here. The Anvil arrow. This patch is still fast, nimble, has a small profile. It is missing 1 shield compared to like the Gladius, which isn't that big of a deal actually because of its size and maneuverability. And the problem is though in this patch is that the stock turret with the 2 size 1s cannot be swapped out for a size 3 anymore. So for that reason, okay, I'm going to put it at, I may move this later, okay? I may move this later. No, not C. I'm going to say B, okay? I almost want to put it towards A. It may move up there later. We'll see when we start adding more ships, right? Yeah, so what's great about this ship is these little things can be shot off and it doesn't really affect its flight in space. Very small profile. Used to have 3 size 3 weapons, but now it's got 2 and then plus the 2 size 1s up top. So it's fine. It's a good ship, but if it had that top like size 3 weapon, I think it would be A or S, like for sure. The Avenger Titan. So the Avenger Titan has a size 4 gun compared to like the Arrow, Gladius, Talon type of stuff for like light fighters. It's not very nimble. It's not large, but it's not small either. And it's compared to the other ones, like nimbleness wise, it's pretty slow. However, it does have a size 4 hard point on the nose, and 2 size 3s under the wings. So for that reason, also stuff as far as stuff getting shot off and losing flight capabilities, there really isn't anything. He can lose these little wings, it could be fine. It's got that 8 SCU. By the way, this is yeah. So there, we got that. I'm gonna leave it at B. It's not A. I would say B. What I'm also gonna do is let's talk about the Warlock. Okay, any other Titan is gonna fall here. The Titan, or any other Avenger, the Titan, the Renegade is the same thing as the Titan. The Stalker is actually a little bit more nimble than the rest of them, than the rest of those three, but it's not enough to change where it is. However, the Warlock has an EMP. The EMPs are not a complete joke. So in this patch, so I'm gonna go ahead and put the Warlock at A tier. I think it's a pretty good ship. The Warlock, okay? That's the Warlock, all right? Cutlass Black. Oh, damn, boys. I'm sorry for you, Drake boys. Let's go ahead and take that ass whipping. The Cutty Black, okay? The Cutty Black received a pretty big buff, okay, in terms of its turret size. All right. I really, honestly, I promise I have nothing against Drake. I promise. It got a buff on its turret size. You put another player in there and you've got a lot of firepower at your hands. Okay. The one problem that it has is that every ship got slowed down this patch pretty much proportionally relative to other ships in the game, except the Cutty Black. The Cutty Black is now a boat that is terribly slow, especially if you're solo, and it maneuverability and size is everything. And now this is a slow ship with a size 2 D. It's a D. I'm sorry for the Drake people. I'm starting to think maybe John Crew does hate you guys. I don't really believe that, but don't worry though. Oh, so this one doesn't have a emote. However, one is in the works. So be on the lookout for that wallpaper and that emote. This next one though, Drake, okay? Screw the missiles, man. They're easier to dodge than people thought. They're gonna fix countermeasures. I can't do it. It's too slow. It's so bad. Like you go to do a VHRT or something when you've got bucks flying around you, you got Gladiuses flying around you, and you can't hit it. You can't hit them. So, the Buccaneer, all right? The Buccaneer, in my opinion, still has too much hull HP for being a glass cannon, right? It's very fast, has a ton of hard points. If you shoot off the wings, you lose the little size 1 weapons. Not really all that important. Maybe even want to consider maybe taking those off or turning them off to get some more capacitor ammo. I don't know. I haven't tested it like 100% yet. But now its caveat, okay, is it's only fast in one direction. That's forward, okay? It's not very fast at strafing. But it is fast in one direction. It's an interceptor, right? That's what it's supposed to be. So I am going to ding it for that and can't say it's S tier because of that fact. Has a lot of firepower, right? Size 4 up top, 2 size 3s and 2 size 1s, but I'm gonna go ahead and give it an A. And I don't think it ever should be, if it got more nimble, and could like strafe, it would be S tier. Or also in addition, if they do lower the hull HP, then I should say redistribute the hull HP more appropriately. I think it would go down a tier. So it's in a good place right now. Good ship. So there's a win. There's a win for you, Drake. You Drake boys. All right. Freelancer Base. I'm not going to do the DUR or the Max in this because they're not combat ships. So, Freelancer Base. It's got gimbals, 4 gimbaled size 3 hardpoints, which is great. You can't even turn them off because it's part of the whole ship. So it's got a decent amount of firepower. It's got missiles. It's slow and it's large, but it's not terrible. And it's got 2 size 2 shields. So it's definitely better than the Cutty Black. You add another person into it, you get a couple size 2 weapons, which isn't bad, but it's nothing great. Then the Freelancer MIS. Let's see if I could do some Photoshoppery here to like, again, same hard points of a balls ton of missiles, right? Same turret. Do the missiles warrant it going up to A tier? Would I rather be in it versus the 600i Titan and Buccaneer? Is it like even on the same level? All right, another disclaimer. Okay. I am not like a hard on throwing missiles. It's just not, it's not like a gameplay mechanic that I enjoy. So if you value missiles more, your opinions would be different, but I'm going to leave it here at B. I'm going to leave it here at B. All right, next one. Gladius. Okay. All right, so the Gladius is great for a lot of reasons. It's small, it's nimble, quite not as small as the Arrow. It's nimble, on the same page as the Arrow and Talon. It's got 3 size 3 hard points, which is great. It's got 2 shields, which is great. I really don't have anything negative to say about this ship at all. I think light fighters are pretty much king right now. And I think this is going to be our first S-Class ship here. Yeah. I would have said last patch that this would have been A. Yeah, A class. But I'm going to go ahead and put it... I'm going to go ahead and put it S-Class, boys. You got to use your maneuverability to your advantage. If you're just going to fly there, sitting there, you're going to get eaten up. But if you just keep moving, using your speed to your advantage, the strafing on this is good. It's just, it's a good all-around ship. The Gladius is back, boys. I think it kind of should be that way, in my opinion. The Harbinger, or the Vanguard series, is actually pretty good this patch. This is going to be a tough one to place here, boys. I don't know what to do with this. If you put laser cannons on it, okay, for PvE, the Vanguard series just absolutely slaps. This has 4 size 2 weapons in the nose, a size 5 weapon under the nose, and the size 2 weapons, if you look at the DPS, the damage and everything, it's not like most size 2 weapons. It's more like a size 3 weapon. And there's 4 of them. And they slap. The cannons can only be found on the Warlock, though, or the Warden, though. I don't know if that's by design or what, but the cannons that I love on this, and I don't like any other weapons, they absolutely slap. So for that reason, okay, it doesn't have the weapons that I like. I'm going to put it at B tier. If you can get your hands on those weapons, which means you got to buy a Warden, which is like 3 to 4 million alpha UBC in game or whatever in real money. Damn. Oh, the humanity. This is a tough one, though. I can understand why somebody might want to move this up. Again, it's got 3 size 5 torps. I don't really care about that. It could be beneficial if you're trying to take out like some larger ships. Just calm down. I might move it. All right. All right. The Hawk, because we're going in alphabetical order. That's the Harbinger. Yeah. The Hawk. All right. So what are we doing with the Hawk? So the Hawk is very nimble. It has a small profile. It has a lot of stuff that can get shot off, but to my knowledge, it doesn't completely make the ship useless until you lose literally all 4 wing pieces. Anyway, fast, nimble. It's got a lot of DPS because it has like 6 hard points, 2 or 4 size 2s, and then I think some size 1s. So you got to get close. It is a glass cannon. It has a decent amount of shields. But it's not a ship that I think everybody has enough piloting skill to take full advantage of. So I'm going to give it an A. Although a good Hawk pilot could make this an S tier ship with using the EMP correctly and everything. I just don't think most players have the piloting skill to make this ship what it's capable of. But it's a good ship. It's a good ship. I would get the Gladius first, in my opinion, and then maybe if you want to try something a little bit more hardcore, I would go with the Hawk. The Hoplite is pretty much on the same page as the Harbinger, but just missing the torps. Still got the turret, still has the same weapons. So I'm gonna put it in C class. Yeah. I don't think it, yeah, I mean it's missing the torps. Hurricane. Hurricane has way too much hull HP still, even though they nerfed it a little bit in one of the last patches. Way too much, okay? It requires a second person, but I'm not going to discriminate on that. Because in this newest patch, it makes sense to multi-crew. Maybe not from a Alpha UEC standpoint. Once they give us an incentive monetarily or maybe with some items or something, I don't know. Then it'll be like a really good way to play the game, is play it with somebody. So I'm not gonna ding it for that one issue that you need another person. It's got 2 size 4 hard points on the nose, and it's got 4 size 3 hard points on top. So it's essentially has the same amount of firepower as a Talon with a Sabre strapped to its back. And that Sabre has like relatively unlimited capacitor power for the weapons. It has stuff that can be shot off that does not change the viability of how it flies in atmosphere or its ability to fire. It's got 2 shields, and the hull HP is absolutely bonkers. So if you can get a person in this, absolutely S tier. If not, it's probably like C tier. I don't know. It's just I wouldn't even get in this if you didn't have a second person, but if you can it's ridiculous. And it's ridiculous. And the hull HP is ridiculous. It doesn't even make sense. It needs to not be where it is. Khalthu-Al, or the Khalthu-Al. But that pisses people off when I call it that. The Khalthu-Al is a very stealthy ship. The Khalthu-Al is a very nimble ship. It has 2 size 4 hard points, just like the Talon. The glaring issue that you can see right now, plain as effing a day, is that like all this shit can get shot off and it causes problems. You lose this engine or any of them, it's a problem. But it is very nimble. It's cool looking. It's very stealthy, but it's huge. It's huge. And for that reason, I think I'm going to put it in the B class tier. It's getting a ding for the fact that it's shaped like a catcher's mitt for bullets. And that's really it. Very maneuverable, in all directions, forward, just in every direction. Looks cool and everything, but and it's got decent hard points, right? 2 size 4s are great. I wonder what's going to fall into the E categories. The thing is that I'm going through these ones that I have emotes for, which means that it must have been popular enough for me to make a display or wallpaper for. So these are all pretty good ships. So that's why they're all kind of flowing up here. But there are some absolutely trash ships. Here's a good one. A good one to talk about. The Sabre. Ladies and gentlemen, I think TLDR, the Sabre is in probably the best place that it's been in any patch. However, it's still not near where I think it should be balanced. I think medium fighters should be the meta, and they're not. Light fighters are. So the fact is that this has another glaring issue that you can see by looking at this cross section. It has a huge cross section compared to light fighters. It's not very nimble. Of course, you would expect that. I kind of think it should be a little bit more, just a little bit more nimble, but it's not. It's got 4 size 3 hard points, and I love the whole idea of this ship. I think it's one of the best looking ships in the game. It's so cool. But I'm gonna put this in the B class tier don't fret, boys. You know, it used to be like D or E, but don't fret, boys, because there is a medium fighter that may redeem the medium fighters. At least I consider it to be a medium fighter. I don't care what CIG says. I made these emotes because I made wallpapers for these. So these ships are all pretty good. So that's why most of them are kind of congregating into the higher ups. This is the Sentinel. Sentinel, right? Kind of on the same boat as the Harbinger, right? You get an EMP instead, which I think I personally would use more. With this slower meta, you spend a lot more time near other ships. So I think it's a good time and opportunity to use... Excuse me. I am so sorry. To use these ships. However, one important thing to know is that the Sentinel is the most, still, just like last patch, is still the most nimble out of all of the Vanguards. So for that reason, I'm going to give it one step above the Harbinger. Okay? And again, the Harbinger I kind of almost want to put the Harbinger up there to A, but you know. Again, slap cannons on it. Okay? Slap the cannons from the Vanguard on it. It'll change your life. I promise you, it'll change your life. How you get them, you know, just got to grind that out for UC, man. Oh, here we go, boys. Here we go for some controversy. All right. By the way, that guy on the Spectrum post that posted that the Talon was OP has deleted his post. He deleted it after like a week. I guess he got tired of people responding to it. So, this is the juicy stuff here, boys. The Talon. Very quick and nimble. 2 size 4 hard points is great. It's purdy. It's purdy. It's a great ship. Okay? Last patch, definitely S tier. I think hands down would have been S tier. And it probably would have shifted everything else down with it because I wouldn't have been able to put like the Gladius and Arrow in the same category as it. It is very stealthy as well, too. Thank you for saying that. However, its glaring trait that was admittedly OP was the fact that it had a super long afterburner that would just dominate anybody in PvP or any type of content, whatever, however you want to play. And I think that was the major thing. Now, what happened is that now all light fighters have that same boost now with the new capacitor gameplay, right? Okay, which is all fine. So then that would bring it in line with like the Arrow if it had 3 hard points in the Gladius and all that, right? But one missile or a couple well-placed shots on the wing and you're just spinning out of control. So the Talon is gone from S tier down to B tier for that reason. Rip everybody who just spent all that money on the Talon during Alien Week. If you got those wings back, it probably would just go up just straight up to S. Honestly. Yeah. But should it be S tier? I think it should be up there with the rest of the light fighters. I don't think it should be better than them. But I think it should be up there with the rest of the light fighters. So, the Warden. All right, so the Warden is a great ship, just like all the other Vanguards. It comes with those cannons that I explained. Slap, they slap, they just slap. It's I didn't mention this with the other ones, but it's tanky. It's relatively nimble. It's not very much. It's not perceivably different than the Sentinel. It comes with those cannons, and for that reason, the fact that you could just hop in this thing and just get right to it, I'm putting it up here in the S tier. Your situation can vary. Oh, also size 3 missiles, turret, interior. There's just a million reasons why the Vanguard's dope. But those cannons just absolutely slap for its size and maneuverability, and it just... You got to try the damn cannons, I'm telling you. If you put the cannons on there, it's the same thing with an EMP though, so of course it would be better. But I got to wait into account that those cannons cost like 4 million alpha UEC. You know what I mean? So I got to keep that in there. Again, I would use the Sentinel all day if it could put those cannons on it. Easily. I can put them on there, so I'm using the Sentinel. I'm not going to use the Warden. Let's just put it that way. So I hope that explains where I'm coming at with that. I have to ding it for the fact that the weapons are just simply not available at any store. And the only way you can get it is by buying a $4 million ship. The NVSA cannons. I had no idea that it was even the case because I've always owned the Warden. So Banu Defender, boys. Let's go for the underdog coming in. Banu Defender is a great ship. Very comparable to the Sentinel. It's got 4 size 3 hard points. It's got a size 2 shield, which just got buffed this patch. Okay. It's got room for another person. It's got room to set boxes in. It's relatively nimble. Just about the same as the Sabre. CIG calls it a light fighter. I think it's a medium fighter. And I think with that shield buff, okay, across the board with the size 2 shield, I think this is an A tier ship now. I'm not going to put it S tier. It doesn't compare to these 3. It kind of it can't. Nah, that's a good spot. What am I thinking? All right, what are we doing next, boys? Prowler. Okay, I'll do the Prowler. Boom, Prowler. It's got 2 size 4. No, 2 size 5. I forget what it is, chat. 2 size 5s. It's pretty slow. Relatively tanky. You can throw a co-pilot in there, although I think it's bugged right now and doesn't really work. So it's best to not do that. So it's a solo ship this patch, unless they can fix the bug, but I doubt it. Its only issue is that it's slow and large, right? Like a lot of ships. But it's got 2 size 5s and then 2 size 3s as well, if I recall correctly. Yeah. Which is a lot of firepower. Probably capable of taking out a hammerhead this patch. With the AI being in the state that they're in, or not AI, with the servers being in the state that they're in that ruins the AI. I'm gonna go ahead and put this. Oh, this is a tough one. I want to just drop this hoe right here. I agree. We're putting it there. We're putting the Prowler there, boys. Good ship though. I think it's better than it was last patch, in my opinion. The 325A is really on par with the 300i, but it just has an additional size 4 hardpoint and it's a little bit faster. So I'm willing to tick it up 1 notch for that. Constellation Andromeda has been buffed to the heavens in this patch. It's got 2 turrets that are manable. It's got a boatload of pilot DPS, 2 size 5s and 2 size 4s if you go fixed. The hull damage has been buffed. The shields that it's equipped with went to size 3. It's hard to remember this stuff. They changed so many things.
Is now following.
Yeah, it's got a size 3 turret now. You can put an FR86 on here, ladies and gentlemen. Okay? It is very slow and it's very large. But I rock gimbals on it. And I don't have that much of a problem tracking some of the smaller targets, especially if you just never even let them get close. I just pretty much just sitting there and just face tanking the missiles, face tanking any damage they throw at you, and just like annihilate whatever's going to be the problem target. I'm looking at you, Hurricane. When you're in a fight. I don't think it's all that great for PvP because it's so slow. Your targets are probably just gonna like run from you, but they're gonna be pretty hard to take you out. The missiles. Did I mention the missiles? It's got 6, 12, 18, 24, 7, 14, 21, 28. That's ridiculous. It's got missiles for days, boys. Missiles, damn dirty missile throwing apes. Wet dream right here for days. I can't believe I'm bro, did I just put a Connie in the S tier? I'm sorry, the Mercury Star Runner is not a combat ship. I'm not putting it on this list. Does anybody disagree with this? Curious? PvE, it's just dope. If this is a PvP one, I'd take it down a notch. But dude, PvE, it's dope. You can take out a hammerhead again because the status of the AI. I think it's a good ship. Neither is the 600i. It's got 3 size 5 weapons, pilot controlled. It may not technically be a combat ship, but interesting. The Shrike with the missiles and how many it has, I think it's going to be on par with the base Talon. You can go out and throw a hefty amount of missiles, you know, and go back, rearm after a little while. So I think it's B. Remember, B is pretty good. A is great, and then S class is like, damn. It's got a lot of size 2 missiles. Like, is it 36? Something like that? 26? Just it's enough. More than you should have, probably. 24, my bad. my bad. That's still a lot of size 3 missiles. Somebody said Mustang. Okay, I'll put the Mustang on here. This will be for all the variants, I guess. Or actually, I'll do Mustang Delta. I'm sorry, not missiles. It gets the rocket pods. So that's pretty cool. But it's got a size 1 power plant, two size 1 shields. I mean, it's equipped better component wise than an Arrow. Granted, it's larger, less nimble. This thing has a lot of firepower on it. When did this happen? I gotta preface this that I haven't actually flown this ship. Jeez. Dude, the Mustang Delta has 2 size 3s, 2 size 2s, 4 size 2s. It's armed to the teeth. Holy shit. It's not very nimble. It's still a starter fighter ship, so I'm gonna go ahead and put it in the C class. I really don't think you should be using it. But if it's what you got, it's not incapable of combat. That's pretty good. I did not know that it had that extra stuff. That's pretty cool. Like, a good player could probably take on an average player in an S tier ship and you might get wrecked. Someone says Eclipse has some really, really large torpedoes. Size 9, the max size that we have. I mean, it just has the sole purpose of throwing torpedoes. Torpedoes aren't in that good of a place at the moment with this new rework. They're pretty easy to dodge. The only use case, I think, for this ship is like throwing torps at NPCs, MCC hammerheads. You only get 3 of them. I just don't see the reason to use this ship. You can't dogfight in it. The cross section is atrocious from the top, great from the front. But you might as well not even fire the weapons. You might as well run. Which honestly, probably now the argument that like I'd rather just do it in an Eclipse for taking out hammerheads might actually be viable now. I'm going to put it as a B class. I was going to do C. But it might be one of the best ways to take out... I see the Taana, so I'm gonna do that one next. It might be a good way to take out hammerheads solo quickly. Now that it takes like, a little while in these other ships, I think that's fair. One good thing about this patch is they made a lot of ships pretty good. I'm cool where it's at. Like, this is a good thing, isn't it? Don't we want all the ships to be up there and not have ships that are just useless? You talking about solo ERTs, 25k a pop? All right, you convinced me. I'm moving it. You convinced me. It's got its place in PvE combat and PvP. Yeah. Okay. I got it. All right. Next is the Taana. I'm not gonna go over the other variants. You need to buy the turret mounts that makes this, or does it come with it? You need to buy the turret mounts from the core that makes it have like a total of 6 size 2s total across the board with this ship, properly equipped. Okay, so that's great. The hull HP is fine. It's got a ton of missiles, which makes it good in this patch. But this is probably gonna piss off a lot of people. You don't have to agree with me. This is just my opinions. But I think the Taana is C class. I really don't think you should elevate up to a Gladius or any of these other ships that are higher up. The MSR is not a combat ship. I mean, if I put it on here, it'd be at the bottom. You'd have to fully crew it to make it worth a damn. And even then, if you just fully crewed an Andromeda or you just duoed in a Vanguard, you'd be better off. Cutlass is D tier. Oh, I see what you're saying now. Yeah, dude, because it's f***ing slow, man. Like bad. Have you flown it in 314 PTU? It's slow, Kaiser. It's slow AF, dude. Really bad. Like it's not proportionally as nimble as it was last patch. Everything got slowed down. This thing got slowed way down. Somebody accidentally clicked the wrong button and it's just super slow, dude. You can't track small targets. Actually, I'm gonna go Super Hornet. I'm not gonna go through and put all the Hornets. It's just, this has already taken like a while. This is just gonna be the Hornet. Tons of firepower. Some negatives. It's got that can get shot off and you lose a pretty decent amount of your firepower if it happens. Size 5 up on the turret. It's got 2 size 3s under the wings. And then at the bottom, you can put another size 3 is the configuration that I would do. And did I mention the size 4 weapon you could put on the top? You can put another player in there. I think the missile operator mode and stuff in this works fine. Doesn't have very many missiles, but you still have the pilot for that, the secondary pilot for that if you wanted to do that. So I don't think that that's a reason to get this is for the secondary person stuff. The problems are you lose the wings, you lose a size 3 hard point as soon as that happens. It's got a lot of frilly stuff that can be shot off. Agility is fine. Everybody's afterburners on the same playing field now. Its afterburner used to be really poop. I gotta go A tier. Hornet Ghost, same thing. The stealth capabilities of that I don't think are gonna make it go to S tier. You gotta put that size 5 turret up top, the ball turret. You gotta go buy that at the store, you know what I mean? And you gotta take off that front turret and put a size 3 and equip this thing with like some neutron repeaters or FL-33 laser cannons or Omni Skies across the board. Heartseeker is the same thing as this. I'm not judging these ships based on their stock loadouts. I'm judging these ships on what you can kit it out, and the Super Hornet and the Heartseeker are identical as far as everything is concerned except for the skin and the default loadout. Mantis? And then someone says Mantis laugh. Okay. It is a combat ship. It requires you to have people with you to actually like blow something up. So I'm going to go ahead and drop it into F tier because you require a whole operation to make use of this thing. I just don't think people really do. The Raven. How many ships do we have in this game? Sabre Raven. One of the prettiest, most rare ships in the game. On the same par as the base Sabre, except it has 2 less size 3 hard points. But everything else I said about the Sabre, it has as well. It did lose a shield just like the Sabre did. So I got to put it as C class. Somebody says Gladiator. Let's do the Gladiator. I think some people are going to be disappointed with this. But you guys got to know that I don't weight missiles the same as what a lot of people do. All right. This ship requires another gunner to be viable in combat. So you really need a second person in this to do anything. Okay. But I said I wouldn't ding the Hurricane for that. But it's so worth it with the Hurricane. It's so not worth it here. You get 3 size 5 missiles. Has 4 size 5 missiles with other missiles as well. Missiles did get a buff this patch. It's got, the same components as a Gladius. But you're going to be going in and being a damn dirty missile throwing ape with you and a buddy to really take advantage of this ship. So I'm going to put it at C. So Origin M50. It lists this as an interceptor, so I'll just put it on there. 2 fixed size 2s. 2 fixed size 2s. It's a racing ship. It's quick, nimble. Pretty much the only way I would run this ship is put scats on it. Yeah, I mean, that's the only way I would run this is to put scats on it. I don't see a reason to use this shit. I mean, it could be fun. It's going to be hard for anybody to hit you. I'm going to put it at D. The weapon hardpoints really is what kills it. If it had 2 size 3s, that'd be better. But honestly, it's supposed to be... So they call it an M50 interceptor. To me, that means combat. But it's also a racing ship. So I don't know what this thing really wants to be. Because if it was a racing ship, I wouldn't even put it on this list. But since you could use it because with its high top speed to catch up to somebody, yeah, I don't know why you'd use it, but yeah, D. Retaliator bomber. Basically, the difference between this and the Eclipse is that this has 6 size 9 torpedoes, which is crazy, right? Imagine how many solo ERTs you could just chain with that. Just drop a torp, get going. You know what I mean? Fun fact, everybody should do this. You're fighting NPCs, take off all the weapons, take off all the shields, not all the shields. Yeah, you could. Leave 1 stealth shield, 1 stealth power plant, and 1 stealth cooler. Take everything else off, take off all the weapons, and it becomes stealthy enough to sneak up on the NPC hammerhead, and you get triple the shots as the Eclipse. This thing has a lot of turrets on it. A lot of turrets. Not required though. Like, that's what's important. You don't need it to do that. I mean, if you want to fully crew this whole thing, I don't know what kind of missions you're doing. You're not making enough Alpha UEC to fund the whole operation. So maybe you're hunting players. It should be able to be taken out with one torp from another torp thrower. So I don't know if that would happen to you. It's a lot of firepower. It's got three turrets with 2 size 3s each, and then 2 turrets with 2 size 2s. It's like a miniature hammerhead with real torps, with big torps. I'm not gonna do the Valkyrie because it requires too many people. So I'm not gonna grade this on the potential that it has if you fully man this ship. And since the Eclipse is here, I gotta leave this here too. I'm not gonna put it at S tier. I don't think it deserves that. It requires you to do a lot to get it to do what it needs to do, because you got to take everything off of it and all that. I'm gonna leave it at I'm gonna put it at A. It's a good ship. You only get 3 torpedoes with the Eclipse. You get 6 with the Retaliator. The blade. Little known fact, I think. The blade is dope this patch. So the blade has the same components as an arrow, not as nimble, not really as small, but the cannons that it comes with are actually pretty good. Problem is you can't take them off. I think this ship is a better PvP ship than it is a PvE ship. So I would knock this down to like B if I was just doing PvE. I don't think you should use this for PvE. If you could, because it has cannons and it has repeaters. I don't like mixing those. If it had the cannons just redundant, it would be A, maybe S. But I don't like those repeaters on there, and I don't like mixing them. The cannons are only size 2. If they had a size 3 variant and it had 3 of those, that would be dope. The DPS calculator says that they're cannons, but they got 600 RPM. What's the range? 1500? Yeah. No, they're coded as their stats resemble repeaters, not cannons. So here, I'll pull it up just for a second. If I had a third one of these in replacement of these, or shit, if you had even more, like if you have 4 of these, it would be OP. But anyway, I can't say that it's the same as a 325A Prowler. It's better than the Talon. It's better than the Sabre. I'd rather be in it than that. It's got to be A tier. Glaive. Let's do the Glaive. This is going to be a tough one because I don't know where I want to put this one exactly. All right, let me tell you guys about the Glaive. This is another sleeper. Very rare ship, right? So if you're fortunate enough to own it, great. But otherwise, get wrecked. The Glaive has 2 size 5 cannons that absolutely, of course, absolutely slap. They're on par with Omni Skies. So it's got 2 Omni Skies attached to a decently nimble ship for it being a heavy fighter, right? Yeah, 2 size 5s, and it's got like these 2 size 1 repeaters, okay? I really don't even care about the repeaters, but 2 size 5s, you cannot change the weapons, okay? Got the same, hard points is like or not hard points, but components is like a Gladius. So I am going to put the Glaive is S tier. You need to be able to actually hit your target with those cannons. It's not a very easy thing to do, but once you get it dialed in and you can do it, it's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah, I'm putting the Glaive at S tier. Jeez. If these aren't the apocalyptic changes, I'm scared to see what is. The M2. Definitely not a ship I'd go around and do combat with solo. If you want to add more pilots, you got those extra turrets. It's very durable. I just don't really see a reason to use it. I don't see a reason to use it. I think you should use other ships. You'd have a lot more fun. I think I'm going to put it in the C class territory. You think it should be E? Really? Doesn't have missiles, but it's got 3 size 4 or three turrets with 2 size 4s each, which is really good. And of course you have fixed size 5s or gimbaled size 4s for the pilot. Which you could fly this thing around solo. I just don't understand why you would do it. You can make enough money in this thing to buy any one of these other ships. I just don't see the use case for it. Merlin and Archimedes. I mean, it's a snub for like a select amount of ships. I'm just gonna put it E-class. You shouldn't be fighting in this. I wouldn't even bother taking this thing out of the Connie to go combat in it, unless you just are just kind of having fun. So the Scythe is pretty much identical to the Glaive, except just a little bit more nimble, but it's missing one blade and or one size 5 hardpoint. I really don't think you should use this ship. I'm gonna put it a D class. You shouldn't use this ship. It's basically half a Glaive. 125A. Let's just be clear, I kind of despise this ship because of its price. There's no reason to buy it in game. The only reason why you should own it is if it's a game package. It's very cool looking. I like Origin ships. It's just expensive and you shouldn't own one. What is cool about it is you can take it and put it in like your Carrack and stuff, and it makes a pretty decent like snub for those larger ships. But I'm gonna put this in D class territory. I don't really think you should be using this ship. The Aurora series, let's do that. I think we can all agree this is a D tier ship. You know what? No. I mean, yeah, it's still D tier. I'm realizing now the 100i is just even more trash. Because I'd rather be in an Aurora LN than the 100i. All right, guys, I'm seeing there may be some rebalancing that may need to be done. Like, it's fine that all these are together, but this is not in the right spot. So do I just move the Cutlass Black up to, it's just so slow, boys. Like, it really is. The Cutty's bad because it's slow. Really, really slow. Its agility is absolute trash in this patch. It's so annoying. It's already annoying enough that they lowered the maneuverability of all the ships. I'm not doing that. God damn. Okay, here we go, boys. Everybody, I mean, literally 100 times. So I'm just going to put it in there. All the way down at the bottom. It's F. It's not a combat ship. Don't use it as a combat ship. You have to have 3 people to even make it even viable. And it's not even that good. You could put 3 people in any other ship, like the Andromeda, and just wreck the whole server. Boom. Now people can stop asking that question. Razor EX. It doesn't have enough hard points. It's quick, but it's in the same boat as the M50, to be honest. Last patch and the patches before that, if you upgraded this one to like an EX or any of the other ones, you lost a lot of maneuverability. Not equal. I don't know if that's still the case. If it is, it might even be lower than this. But to my knowledge right now, I'm hoping that they fix that with this balance pass. But yeah, it's a D-class ship. You shouldn't be using it for combat. It's a racing ship. One could argue it doesn't even need guns. You know? All right, get fucked on the Terrapin. Okay.
Schweidig just rejoined the sub club.
If I'm blatantly ignoring your comment after what I just put up there, okay. All right, whatever. I'm gonna do the Pisces. Of course, only the one with the 4 size 1 hard points, the C8X Pisces, is the only one that's gonna make it on this list, and it's gonna be F tier. You need a Z grade. The Scythe in D is unjust. I'm sorry, do 1 size 5. It might be C. The Scythe has 2 size 5s. Double check. I mean, I don't need to double check that. I could be putting my foot in my mouth, but wait, what? Where are they at? Where the fuck are they at? Oh my god. It has the same firepower? Is it more nimble? Oh my lord. Get out of here, dude. Both of them are on the big wing. I mean, why would you want to... Last Few Fluid only had 1 cannon. I'll just log into the verse right now. I gotta see this for myself. Wow. It's always had it. It's kind of fragile. Okay, the spat tool does have stats on its agility. This is the most important anyway. Is your acceleration in the different directions. The Scythe is more agile. I don't think it's more agile enough though to benefit from like 40% or 30% more HP value. I think I'd still go with the Glaive, but I think the Scythe is still good. That is dope. Thank you for letting me know that. So I'm going to put this then at A tier. Maybe this is a little bit too harsh for the arrow. Does the arrow need to drop down 2 points because of its missing that weapon? All right. Yeah, you guys are asking me to rebalance. So let me just look at this one more time before I say that this is it. All right. All of these ships are definitely ships you should be using in both PvE and PvP. Agreed? You can't drop the Eclipse though, bro, because you can no longer take out a hammerhead in 30 seconds anymore without that. And now going back to rearm that every 3 you drop doesn't look so bad anymore. So I don't agree. I think that that should stay. Arrow, 600i, Warlock with that EMP, the Buccaneer, the Hawk, the Sentinel, the Banu Defender, the Eclipse, the Hornet, the Retaliator. Again, for solo play, stripping it to only have one stealth power plant, 1 stealth cooler, 1 stealth shield. You could even take off the shield and just go and kill PvE targets. You'll be stealthy enough to hit a hammerhead, and you get 6 torpedoes. So less rearming. I don't think that that's enough to bump it up to S tier though. But if you fully crew this hoe, then it probably would be S tier, but I don't think people are going to do that. And then the Blade, A tier. The only reason why I wouldn't put it at S tier is because it has repeaters. They call it cannons in Urkel, which is taken from the game's data. So I don't know if he translated that wrong or if the game says that they are, but they're fucking repeaters. And if it had all cannons, I think it would be S tier. I think it'd be pretty dope. But the weapons don't all fire at the same speed and fire rate, so it's kind of weird for the convergence. I don't really like it. Some other people swear by it, especially people in the PvP community. Like the Dark Law herd really likes it, and I respect his opinion on that. But, you know, with me leaning more towards PvE, I think I'm going to put it here. I think most people, especially people that watch my channel, agree. Scythe, there too as well. Learned today that it has 2 size 5 hard points. We got the Titan, the MIS, the Harbinger. So all these ships here are great ships. You can use them in combat if you have them, but I wouldn't like buy them specifically to go out and do combat with them. I wouldn't purchase these for the purpose of doing combat. But these top 2, if you want to, you know, have the most fun, wreak the most havoc, these top 3, or S tier is the way to go. A tier is great, worth buying if you like this type of ship. B tier, if you have it, use it. It can be fun. C tier is like, there's a better ship, mainly in its own variant, right? That's just better. The MIS is better. The 325A is better. This is the starter ship. The Taana's too slow. The EMPs aren't good enough yet for the Sabre to be viable. I wish that this could be up more. Now I'm realizing what some of you guys are saying in chat is that you're not disagreeing with me. You're trying to say that the fact that it's there is a okay, I get it now. My bad. Context sucks. Gladiator. Missiles I don't think are powerful enough now that we know how to dodge them. And once countermeasures will be working, which will be working hopefully before this patch goes live, I don't think the Gladiator is going to be worth it. You got to have a second person in it. And then doing that doesn't make it as good as the Harbinger. You could just be in a Harbinger with 2 people and you can get much more DPS, similar payload. M2 probably shouldn't be in this ship doing combat, but if you got nothing else and you bought this and trading's not rolling good, you want to use it for some PvE combat, go ahead, do it, but make money to get one of these. Cutlass Black, way too slow. Sorry guys, if they sped it up, it would move up 1, maybe 2 tiers. The turret's great, but it's got 1 size 2 shield. So, and size 2 shields got buffed, but the MIS has 2. Even the base Freelancer has 2. This is one of the reasons why I kind of wanted to put it in the D area, but I can't have it down here with. Yes, I can. I'm punishing this ship. You guys don't understand. Like, I want people to see this and understand how shit this ship is. Now it makes a little bit more sense. Yeah, Cutlass Black, D class. Sorry. Maneuverability is great. If it had 2 shields, I'd move it up. If it was faster, I'd move it up. But sorry, the turret got buffed. The turret's the best thing on it. Best thing on it. Other than that, it's just trash. Kind of like what it's made out of, trash and duct tape and a dream. All right. And then of course, I mean, you got your ships that aren't even really, you know, real combat ships down here. And then you've got these ships that I barely even wanted to put on this list, but we had to put something in the F class. So MSR is the best gunship. Yeah, for fucking E-warfare. I mean, not even E-warfare, like hack warfare. Like if you want to hack Russia, you know what I'm saying? And just like, yeah. And I don't even know if that's going to be a thing where you could hack missiles maybe. I don't know. But we didn't miss anything, did we? If we did, it's kind of too late because I'm putting this in a YouTube video. It's going to be really weird if I throw in a ship right at the end, you know?
This month's ship giveaway is brought to you by Game Glass. There are 10 ways to enter, each giving you more points and a greater chance to win. To enter, just visit subliminalschannel.tv/giveaway. Pro tip, the redeemed Twitch channel point rewards can be done once per live stream. If you enjoy my channel, there are so many ways to support it, ranging from free options like Prime Gaming subscriptions and sending out for UEC in the verse, sub club subscriptions, merch, to more generous forms of support. Head over to subliminalschannel.tv to learn how. Your support in all forms makes this channel possible. Even your viewership, liking, and subscribing goes a long way. To continue watching, here's a video I think you may like. Here's a video YouTube thinks you may like. And until next time, citizens, I'll see you in the verse.